What's going on, Sticks and Convos family? It's your gracious and honorable host, Bobby Saunders, and your boy Andre. And what we smoking on today, Bobby?
Man, you already know, man. Smoking on the
Uh,
JR.
I don't
JR,
already know, huh?
the handmade JR imported, the Calidad Suprema. That's all I got, you know.
You know about to get you, right. You know I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you.
Hey, them R's was rolling. Them R's was rolling.
No, don't be doing that again.
Suprema. Yeah, you know, them R's was rolling.
Hey, next thing you know, you gonna have that. Ay, 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 ay,
What, what you smoking on, D?
Man, listen, you know I go my go-to, my father, the judge. This series, man. Man, my father. You never go wrong with my father's, man. For real. It's
Yeah.
just, it's just by far. I say it's like top three smoothest smokes out of my like top 10. You know,
Yeah.
so I think y'all would love it. It's definitely a light body cigar, and it's just that sense of what you get from when you smoke it. That oak taste. That's what that, and I think it's a Nicaraguan cigar too.
Mm.
So the essence of that oak taste that you get, and it just kind of like marinates and I was about to say your mouth, and then I knew you was gonna come with some. I know you.
Hey man, you already know. Hey, I was listening to your words closely too.
I know.
Yes, that.
Hey, you was waiting for that too, man. I can't even give a little rundown on this thing.
Nah, man, go ahead, man.
No. But for real though, I think it's this is our choice right here. My father, you love my father too, or you like my father. I introduced you to that some time ago.
Yeah.
It's all good. It's all good. What you smoking on, sir?
Nothing, man, at all.
You know he don't. You know he don't. You know he don't smoke cigars.
Oh, but I'm actually interested though. I'm interested. That's
Hey,
all. See, like okay, you talk about how it tastes and everything. I'm like, okay, a little
hey.
kind of sugary a little bit, but
You say kind of what?
You say a little kind of sugary.
uh, don't. So let me ask you this: like
Yeah,
the flavors. I mean, is there a specific flavor that you should be going for when you're smoking a cigar? I mean, do because when you smoke a cigar, sometimes you lick your lips. So, you know how you have people that smoke, what's some things, blacks, and they have like a taste on it. Like
Mm.
the cigar, is it the smoke or is it just the leaf that it's in?
you want to answer that, Bob? You want me to answer that?
So it's a multitude of things. It's a complex algorithm, basically. It's basically what you desire, honestly. If you want like a desserty type of cigar, you might want to go with an acid. You might want to go with a Tatiana, things of that nature. But if you want more of like a bold taste, you might want to go with a LFD, La Flor Dominica. If you want more like it's a smooth, you out there drinking wine, you just want to chill out, you might want to do my father like Deondre got. It's just up to the mood and what setting that you're in, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna try one next time, man.
Now,
Yeah.
what you talking about with that taste on your lips and whatnot? For me personally, I do not like that. I think anytime I always say the little thing. Anytime I smoke cigars like that, I feel like my lips are being violated. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like acid, like the acids. It leaves it like tingle, that little tingling on your lips and all that. And I don't like that feeling, so I just stay away from those. But that's like usually the beginner cigar, and a lot
Okay.
of people like it. But yeah,
So,
like we gonna right.
so it makes your lips black.
No, don't make the lips black. It just be violating. It's like, I don't know. I can't explain it. I don't know if anybody else. I think maybe one other person told me they felt this too, but I felt like this little like you can taste the flavor on your lips, and then it just kind of tingles too. It like tickles. That's why I did it like taste your lips.
I would say the closest comparison to it is take some lemon juice, put it on your lips, and let it stay there. Let it sit there. It'll start tingling, right?
Yeah.
But, some people like to feel it, but some other people don't.
I was trying to hold my laugh in the entire time.
I met a lot of people who like, the acid and like the debris and stuff that's on their lips. I don't like. If I want a sweet cigar, I'll try like a Tatiana or something like that. But other than that,
yeah. All right. Yeah. Go ahead. I'm gonna try one of them cigars one of these days, man.
I'll get you one. I'll go ahead and get you one. I'll get you the right one, right intro cigar, so that you ain't somewhere out there dizzy from somebody giving you or you giving yourself a cigar that's too strong for you. So I'll give you a nice intro cigar.
So you don't inhale it. You just
Yeah. You don't inhale it. You just put the smoke in your mouth, and basically the tobacco that's in the smoke and stuff will go through your saliva glands, and that's how you get the tobacco. I don't want to say fix, but it's the closest thing that I can think of.
Former dentist, right? He gonna explain it to you from the dentist.
My bad. Go ahead, man.
No, my fault. I was saying that's the former dentist right there, right? He gonna get you from the dental side of things. He said, your saliva glands and everything.
Yo. So let me ask you this: Why is a Cuban cigar so hyped up?
So, go ahead. No, go ahead. No. After you, man.
All right. No, but it's because of two places in the world where the best tobacco plants are grown or made and everything like that is Ecuador and Cuba, right? And so Cuba has been the hub because Fidel Castro has like a main cigar that he smokes, but his influence on cigar smoking has just perpetuated throughout the entire country. And then people in the U.S. picked it up. There's a whole history behind it. Actually, by the way, I'm reading this connoisseur guide that's talking about. I'm not gonna get all deep. Me like off of this whole thing, Laura. I'm gonna talk to you about all that, but we're gonna rap about all that. But just to sum it up, the best tobacco plants are over there.
And I like to add to that, it's a scarcity factor as well. Anything that's illegal, anything that you can't get your hands on immediately, it's always going to be more hyped up. And it's
so what makes it so bad? What makes it illegal? Because you got all these other countries that's got their cigars, and you're able to get their cigars. But why not Cuba, which is one of the? Well, I mean, Ecuador is pretty close too, but why is that illegal?
Because for a long time, it was no import exports out of Cuba. You couldn't travel to Cuba. You couldn't do anything to Cuba. A lot of it where, after I don't want to say the heroin or the crack epidemic or whatever the case may be, back in the 80s, how they used to fly to Cuba and then fly to the United States. They shut all that stuff down. So afterwards, basically, all the exports and imports was shut down from that factor. So then when you come to the tobacco boom and things of that nature, where tobacco or cigars is becoming more of a standardized practice, people wasn't able to get it, those who are in the United States. So it became popular because the demand was so much, it was so needed at that time.
Wow, that's deep, man. Thank you. Appreciate it. But it's just like when you look at things in general, something as simple as tobacco, you know, from a good area like that, kind of push at, everything else when you compare that with everything else in the world. Something very simple, but it's a no-no.
Yeah.
You know? Deep.
Sure is. Sure is. I like to think of it as like Bobby said, scarcity. It's kind of like it's a rebellious thing. You like, oh man, it's a taboo type situation. So, let's get into it. Let's see what we can, let's get into it more because it's taboo. You know what I'm saying? So that's how that's one thing I realize about human nature is if it's not legal or if it's taboo, we tend to be drawn to it more.
Mm.
That's what I've learned. I've kind of like learned out of human nature is that we like exclusivity. Things that it's hard to get, but it's like a gem once you get it.
Mm.
And why you think that is? That's an interesting concept.
Because
from your experience.
Well, we're talking about like not personally, but no, let's talk about personally, man. You just feel like you got that edge, you like, man, I'm breaking the rules, you know what I'm saying? And the rules can be bent. Everybody at some point in time in their lives has bent the rules in some way, shape, or form, more than once. And rules, having a system in place and rules and ethics and everything like that is imperative. It's important to have. But we would be going against our animalistic instinct to not bend the rule from time to time. We're still mammals at the end of the day. We're still animals at the end of the day, even though we're more evolved. But we have that conscientiousness to be like, okay, we can follow rules and ethics and morale.
Mm.
So, just my take on that.
That's pretty interesting, man, because that really goes along with like how the world is developed. So it's like, like our topic today is culture, and how all of that is, how culture has became this pillar in our community where it's not something that we even created ourselves. So like basically like scarcity, things of that nature, like okay, Gucci bags. People who are making less money think Gucci bags is a scarcity. Like they want that. Like they need that to validate themselves and to ensure themselves that that particular materialistic item is something that validates them. And I think with scarcity, like, the Cuban cigar, or, the whatever the case may be, if I attain that and it's illegal and it's hard to get, then I'm basically telling everybody else that what I have is of value, which encompasses which retrospectively says that I'm of value. That's pretty interesting.
That's good. You said it. I mean, that's the world that we living in now, man. You got people that's on social media, saying that they got this and got that, but they really don't. I mean, because Gucci bags are expensive.
Yeah.
You got some people that'll give their last just for a little bit of, hey, I'm doing good. I can fit in. I got a Gucci bag. But in actuality, they depressed because they just and they can't go nowhere. They can't go kick it, but they got that Gucci bag, so they got to walk around and perp. You know, I mean, I'm saying the old school term perp. They're not perpetrating, but
Yeah, perpetrate. Yeah. No, we might be a little young, but we were still in that time.
come on now.
Come on. No.
Oh yeah. Y'all both from the Midwest, so y'all can hang with it.
Yeah. It's happening. No, for real. Like, that's why people like, and it's another thing too, is like people want to feel important. I was talking to my lady about this the other day, is like, people will stretch themselves on social media as far as to show what they got. And just to get those likes, those oohs and ahs and all that other shit. And it's like,
yeah,
like at the end of the day, I'm going to log off that social platform and I'm going to not give a fuck. Like, that's it. I'm going to log right off, and it's as if, it's gone one ear out the other, as old folks used to say, one ear out the other. But, it's there. I saw it one moment, I'm going to forget it the next moment. You know what I'm saying? But you have people that vicariously live through others, so they like to see that. They feed off of that. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I've just always been more of like a private person. I put little things out there from time to time, whatnot. But I'm more of that private person where I work in the shadows. Because I like to be able to be proud of myself for the accomplishments that I've done. Nobody else can be as proud of my accomplishments more than me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's cool, likes and a little support in that sense. But at the end of the day, I mean, that just feeds your ego. We keep it, Uncle Lur, we keep it real on here. So
no,
we're gonna talk that talk. You feel me?
Yeah, that's good. That's real good. I mean, look at the world. I mean, like you said, look at the world now, man. I mean, look at the rappers. And one thing that triggered me is when you said that it's going at one ear and out the other. That's just like the rap music. Look at the music nowadays, man. The music lasts for about a few seconds. It's like bubble gum. Do you remember that good bazooka gum? It tastes good as hell.
Bazooka gum.
Hard, loose flavor.
After 2 minutes.
Yeah, that's exactly how a lot of the music is now.
Yep.
Yeah, the attention span of people has decreased tremendously, and the music is really, and even with the music, like when it comes to like the culture and everything, it's promoting things that are toxic for just human life in general. Just this human life in general, and like people are eating it up. People are celebrating toxicity. People are celebrating manipulation and things of this nature. People are celebrating, and I'm not yeah, people are literally celebrating these things, like going to the clubs and like popping Molly and I'm sweating. Woo! Like, come on, bro. Like, that's not cool at all. Popping Molly's is not cool. And the verse that other people have said in their raps, it's just, I don't know. It's like we celebrate this thing called culture, and as as a pride, as a prideful jacket to be worn for Black people in America. I would say that, but I don't see any pride in what the culture is doing for our people. I just see it being more psychologically destroying the minds of our culture, the Black people in the United States. So what y'all think about just like the culture in general, of how not just like so the culture meeting like everything that's surrounding or encompassing um the black persona, you know. The black person loves rap, they love chicken, they love having multiple women, they love like it's just like, you know, they encompass having nice cars, whips, Louis bags, things like that. um what do y'all think about that? What do y'all how do y'all navigate through the world of the culture, knowing that it's destroying our culture?
Well, me personally, being older, you got to basically stay focused and stay true to yourself. Number one, when you stay true to yourself and you know your steps, you really don't have time to get caught up in that mess. You know what I mean? Um, and then also your self-esteem is right because again, you're focused on yourself and what you got to do, your mission and the things that you want to accomplish. And through accomplishing those things, your light is going to shine, you know? Um, and you have so many people that's out there. You got two different lights, man. You have the light that shines in the dark, and then you have the light that's going to shine in the light.
Say that again. Say that one more time.
You have the light that's
Yeah.
in the dark, and the light that's going to shine in the light. So when you have that light that's shining in the dark, they in the dark, but that light is shining. But that's showing them to say, hey, come over here, come over here. That's what's drawing a lot of people to that negativity. That's why you
Mm.
keep that dark light. You need to be looking at that light that's in the sunshine. When you outside, in the middle of the day, you turn that light on, that's that light. That's what we have to be at as Black men, to be that example. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm deep on but but it's just, that's where we at, man. And then there's a show that's on net. I don't know if it's on Netflix or something that I seen that I was discussing how we are seen as Black men, being angry, being mad. I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna post it to you, both of y'all. It's a real good show, and it talks about that. Being the pillars, being the salt of your community. What you think, DeAndre?
Indeed, indeed. No, that was profound. I'm just taking that in as far as the light in the darkness because I ain't never heard that, and that's wisdom comes from your life and your experience. So as a young guy, I got to take that in because I have to. I haven't looked at it like that before. I look at when it comes to our culture, um, we don't we haven't researched our culture enough or really know what our culture is in its entirety to be able to know how we need to live that out in today's world because our culture's been all over the place. You know what I'm saying? Culture, we don't have a standard. It's almost like our culture is we got like cultural ambiguity going on. There's more than one interpretation of what it means to be a Black person,
Black man,
a
Black
Black
fa-
man, Black father. Yeah, Black man, Black father, and I get in the heart of what us being here, we all Black men. So yeah, like Black men in general, right? So that's where it's like to the first thing you said, Lur, is know oneself. You know what I'm saying? Get to know oneself, and that process ain't gonna be easy. Getting to know, and that's that I've realized being 28 and stuff like that, and had different experiences in my life, and but I have to realize like whatever works whatever works and whatever you can do consistently, that's going to be culture. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be that light in the darkness that you're talking about, and that can eventually light up that dark path or that darkness surrounding it, where it's just all nothing but light. You know, and that's kind of like what I've got from what you just said, Uncle Lurch. So,
yeah. But you know, like when you go to a nightclub, you know, nightclubs, it's just not dark. You have a little bit of light in there. That's what a little bit of light. You know?
That's true. That's true. That's true. Yeah. What about you, Bobby? What you?
That's good. That's good. That's good. Yeah, man. It's just like, yeah, that phrase you said. There's light and darkness, and there's light and lightness, and that's like, and making sure that you are understanding yourself so that you can navigate correctly. And over like the past year and a half, like I've really been focused on self and understanding self and removing myself from different elements of what the culture is doing and things of that nature. Social media, like the music that's being portrayed. I only listen to two artists these days, like is Kendrick Lamar or J. Cole. Those are the only two artists I listen to these days. Or JID. It's not only two, but you know, those are the most two like influential artists that I will listen to, like JID, Kendrick Lamar, you know, J. Cole, those cats, and any one of them, any person that's in their genre, I will listen to. So just really removing myself from, you know, what I think as toxic music. I listen to a lot of jazz now. I listen to a lot of podcasting. I listen to a lot of actually I've been listening to some classical music, even though it's not really, you know, within the Black culture, but classical music is really, it's really refreshing and relaxing to listen to.
Who do you think Beethoven was? Beethoven was black, man.
Beethoven was black?
Yeah.
I didn't even
he was half African. Beethoven.
A lot of people don't know that. I'm glad you mentioned that.
But you know what? The thing is they don't want you to know your culture. They want you to go ahead and accept the bullshit that's out here. Woo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why they try to take the what is it? The I can't think of the name of it. My daughter was talking to me about it, but they don't want you to know about your Black history. Because if you don't know about your Black history, guess what? You don't know where you're going. That means you're going to follow somebody else's philosophy. And that's what confusion, because in our bodies, in our souls, we know right from wrong. However, people just go along with the flow, knowing that it's wrong. That's like what I mean. We need to know who we are. That's what I mean, knowing who you are, getting your history. I'm talking about all the way back from Africa, man. Know where your DNA comes from. You know if you're from Sierra Leone, Cameroon, you know, go to those countries, learn the people, talk to the people, you know, because at the end of the day, man, I mean, we got over here as slave ships. I mean, even though we was born here, but you know, we got over here in slave ships, and there were some folks that was here. You know, they have an area called the Bering Strait. It actually melted, but they used to come over through Bering Strait, come over here to America. So America was way established, way long ago.
What is Bering Strait? What is that?
The Bering Strait is where you could actually walk to America. That was located up there close to Alaska. So they used to come all the way around there, go there across the Bering Strait. So when you get a chance, look at the map. You'll see the Bering Strait. So they was able to come over here. It wasn't just in seas. He was able to walk over here. But, you know, again, that stuff melted. as the earth started heating up, it melted, or it got covered, with water. So, I mean, that's like with anything. You want something to disappear, you cover it over with water. What do you think on the Forsyth, Georgia, and other countries, other cities that was black, majority black, but got covered over?
And that's wild to me. That's wild how you can flood a whole city. Like for me, for some people it's probably not as wild, but for me that's wild. That's crazy. That's like that's genocide stuff. Like,
but that's the history they don't want you to know about.
right.
Because guess what? If you don't know about it, you never know how they coming.
Yeah. That right there. If you don't know about it, you don't know how they coming. You don't know how they getting at you. And I think the biggest, we've mentioned it, all three of us have mentioned it, the biggest way I believe that they're coming is through social media.
Oh yeah.
Let's attack them social media.
If you attack the mind, bro, you already got it started. If you attack the mind, it's already there, because then your mind, you're doing stuff. Your soul is going to be like, yo, you ain't supposed to be doing that, but yet you're still doing it. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's like, it's a reprobate minded. That's why you see all this stuff that's going on. Reprobate.
Now, what we really need to look at in our culture is where we are, like, to get our culture back on track, or to get things moving in the right direction. We need to start in the house, at home, right?
That one. Say that again. One more time, please. Say that again.
In order for our culture to get on track or go in the right direction, it needs to start at home. And that's dealing with whatever issues you like, trauma, situation, toxic, as we talk about that toxic relationships, whether it be, relationships between spouses, relationship between parents and children, whatever those relationships, they need to be managed at home. So that way, when you go out, our folks used to tell us, you represent us when you walk out this door. Right. And so we are everybody in our home is a representation of each other. So, our folks harped on us like, yeah, you represent us when you get out, but it's like, you also represent me too, being and who you encounter and interact with and everything like that. Because if you you do something that's like, outlandish or embarrassing or whatever the case may be, and I'm around, or people know our family and stuff like that, then, it falls back on me too. Because we're all in this together as a family. So I think that we need to really harp on starting in the home. What are we teaching in the house, in our households?
Yeah. That's just like the old saying, man. My parents, they used to be like, yo, whatever you do, you make sure you have some clean drawers, because you get the accident, you go to the hospital.
Yeah.
I know that's right. Clean drawers, clean socks.
Yeah.
Don't be talking about me. You know what I'm saying? That's the old times, though. That was the good stuff.
Oh man, that's funny. Oh man.
What are a couple lessons? You don't have to be a whole lot, but a couple lessons that your folks taught you coming up that you implemented as an adult, or if on the other side, there's a couple things they may have said didn't really apply to you as an adult, so you tweaked it, and when you became your own man.
I put it like this, man. I've been on my own since I was like 16. So there's a lot of lessons that I learned just in life in general. One thing that I was taught is work hard and you're going to get it. And so, I had a job when I was like 15 years old, working at Wendy's, good old fashioned hamburgers. I was on my own at 16. I still had the job at Wendy's. I still went to high school, paid for my own graduation gown. Didn't have to have my parents to do anything, so I did it. You know, got me a scholarship to college. Guess what? I did that. You know what I mean? So the one thing that my father told me was to just work. You know, anything that you want, just work. Don't do nothing illegal. You know, and the one thing that he also told me was to just work. So that works two ways. When you're trying to be an entrepreneur, you know, but you're still looking at just work, that can kind of be, you know, a double-edged sword because you can always be so concentrated on working for the man, breaking your back for the man instead of breaking your back for yourself and your family.
Mm.
That right there, it's like more of a double-edged sword. But yeah, that was pretty much what my dad told me. And that's what I did is work, make sure I made a job, make sure I'm able to take care of my family. However, you know, there are some things that I want to do and I want to reach out for. I'm not saying that I'm afraid to do, but I got a little one right now. So I want to make sure that he's straight before I go ahead and reach out, because if I fail, I don't want to fail him. I don't want to fail my family, actually. So, you know. But that's one of the things that my father told me, though, is to work and work hard. Was it for the man? Probably. You know, my father, he's from Alabama. He actually marched with Dr. Martin Luther King. So, you know, he was, and plus he lived in Chicago. You know, he was what do you call it? Disciples. So he had to share around, man. You know, he had some knowledge that he was able to pass down.
Oh, so he GD too?
Yeah. Old school. Old school.
Old school when GD was actually growth and development.
Yeah.
That are gangster disciples.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like it was about the community. You know what it brings me back to? Not to cut your wisdom. You know what it brings me back to? What you said, Uncle Lur, is that there's this line in it's called Lecrae, one of Lecrae's albums, and the song is called Gangland. And there's a speech part in the song where shout out to Lecrae. There's a speech part where it talks about how what the gangs used to do. He said the gangs used to protect the communities,
Mm-hmm.
and everything of that. You know what I'm saying? And used to provide for the community and everything. And now you see it's a mess.
That's because infiltration, man. Infiltration. I mean, anytime that we have something or we have something good as a community or as a group or collectively, it gets infiltrated, perverted.
Right. Right.
You know, I mean, you go look at
By our own people.
by our own people, because they all, you know, somebody is more of a crab in the barrel. You know, I'm gonna take care of you and your family. You just got to do this. I'm gonna take care of you and your family. You just got to do that.
Or a lot of times it was, I know you stole something last week.
Yeah.
But you on camera.
Right.
I need you to do this or you're going to spend life in jail. Knowing that back in the mind, like they know they didn't steal nothing. Like it's just the scarcity of like, oh shit, I'm going to be in life in jail if I do this or don't. Or if I don't do this, if I do this, then, I'm going to be able to not be in jail.
You should always reach back and pull somebody up. You got two arms. Imagine if you're both arms, you reach back and pull up two other individuals. They're going to push you as they're gaining. And then they reach back, pull up two other individuals with their arms. That's four people. 4 turns to 8. 8 turns to 16. And you pushing, and you building. Imagine that, man.
Power of duplication.
Yeah.
Power of duplication.
One mind, one set. you know?
Right. It's the crab in the barrel mentality. I never understood it. We need to start by changing our last names if we want to get back to our roots, like who we are.
Hold on, say that again. Say that.
Our
Changing the what? Oh man, say that again.
last, our, changing our last names. Changing our last names, because a lot of times our last names, that's Laura. That's old to Laura. You know what I'm saying? She talks about that all the time when we talk about these discussions or have these discussions about where we come from, and really reaching back and figuring that out and putting the pieces together. We can reach back at least 3 generations or 4 generations, and we had a white slave owner that intermingled with one of the slaves or a few of the slaves, and that's in our bloodline. And we took on that last name. They probably married them, like, on the low while they had their family and stuff. And the reason why I say this too, is because I did some research on that years ago about that they would have other families. A lot of slave owners would have other families while they had their main family. That other family would be, but they couldn't tell, or they couldn't, like, their peers couldn't know that. You know what I'm saying? If their peers found that out, they'll be ostracized. So that's another thing. That's where the confusion about who we are, this cultural ambiguity that we're suffering with as a black culture, as black men, black women, that it brings that confusion to us. Because we pretty much all over. Why do you think people just like, if they know stuff is wrong, they know shit's wrong, like why people keep doing it?
They don't have no faith. They don't believe in the Most High.
Yeah. Yeah.
It all starts with faith, man. It's just, and the one thing about faith, you have people that sit up there and they be saying, what really started with that is when people started celebrating Santa Claus, these man-made holidays, and then you grow up, you figure out, oh, Santa's not real. So then these kids are like, oh, so if Santa's not real, God's not real. So you're living in a world where you have so many people that's godless. Guess what? You're going to do all kind of other stuff under the sun because it's like, you're reprobated. You're done. You feel comfortable doing things that are wrong.
Mm.
You have no remorse, like, oh, it's okay. God knows my heart. And when people say God knows my heart, it's kind of like, wow, does he really? Because when you look at it, man, when the people went up there on Mount Sinai to get the tablets, they didn't want to have faith. So they created their own God out of the golden calf, right? You have so many people doing the same thing. They create God in their image, not in his image, how he created us. They go ahead and create the God that they want and say, oh, yeah, God knows my heart. Yeah, he does. Because you created him.
Creative. Say that again. Hold on. Say that again.
I'm soaking it in.
Say that again.
Soaking it in.
No, people say, like I said, people say God knows my heart. But the thing is individuals create their own gods.
Yeah.
Their own gods can be Jordans.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
It's the same thing. Everything that's happened, everything that's going on right now, it's the same thing that's happened before. Yeah. The reason we're going through so much stuff and so much turmoil is because we don't want to listen. We don't want to listen, or we don't want to seek out what happened, our forefathers. It's a repeated cycle. So, like what Einstein said, man, you're doing the same thing over and over again. Guess what that is?
Insanity.
One thing we like to do, we like to have our guests leave our audience with a piece of wisdom before we head out. A phrase, word, a sentence, a paragraph, whatever the case may be. What would one thing that you would want to say to the audience or say to us?
I would say, one thing I want you to do, man, your audience to do, is to always pay attention to the spirit of others.
Mm.
You never know what somebody's going through. Sometimes a hello, how you doing, can make a person's day. Sometimes you can actually go and open up a car door for somebody. You see somebody that's struggling or something like that. A little bit can go a long way. You never know how it's going to impact that individual. Even an old lady, I ain't gonna say old lady, senior citizens, they be getting around the store. You see her looking at something, just walk up and reach out and get it for her. Ask her if it's the right thing she needs to do. Have a conversation. That's it, man. That's how we learn, is through each other, really.
That's powerful.
The spirit. So that's one thing I say. Take the time to say, hey, how you doing?
That's dope. On that note, hey, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Sticks and Convos here again. And we out.
Another great episode.
Right.
Another great episode. We out.